I should have brought Jeremiah instead. If it had been Jeremiah, things would have been different. He would have said all the right things. It would have been Jeremiah in the center of the dance floor doing the typewriter and the lawnmower and the toaster and all the other stupid dances he used to practice when we watched MTV. He would have remembered that daisies were my favorite flower. And he would have made friends with Taylor's boyfriend, Davis, and all the other girls would have been looking at him, wishing he was their date. I turned the music up loud, and Susanna always said it wasn't a party without dancing. I grabbed Jeremiah and danced. "Belly," he protested. "Just dance, Jer," I yelled. So he did. He was a good dancer, that Jeremiah. I reached across, and I took his hand and laced my fingers around his. It felt like the most right thing I'd done in a long time. I worried he'd let go, but he didn't. We held hands like that the whole rest of the way home. When I looked at Jeremiah, I saw past, present, and future. He didn't just know the girl I used to be. He knew the right now me, and he loved me anyway. We had started dating right before I began senior year of high school. Dating didn't feel like the right word for it. We were just together. It all happened so easily and so quickly that it felt like it had always been that way. One minute we were friends, then we were kissing, and then the next thing I knew, I was applying to the same college as him. But I just wanted to be near him. I wanted him for all seasons, not just summer. It was crazy how far we had come. We'd known each other our whole lives, and in some ways, it felt like a big surprise. In other ways, it felt inevitable. We were a couple years and years in the making. I knew him better than anyone, the same as he knew me. And I knew Jer would never look at another girl. We were dancing. I had my arms around Jeremiah's neck, and the music was pulsing around us. I felt flushed and abuzz from the dancing and from the alcohol. The room was packed with people, but when Jer looked at me, there was no one else. Just me and him. Firsts were important, but I was pretty sure lasts were even more important. And Jeremiah, he was going to be my last, and my every, and my always. I watched him make his way through the crowd, feeling proud I could call him mine. My boyfriend, my Jeremiah, the first boy I had ever fallen asleep next to. The first boy to go out and buy me Midol because my cramps were so bad. The first boy to paint my toenails, to hold my hair back when I threw up that time I got really drunk in front of all his friends. The first boy to ever write me a love note on the whiteboard hanging outside my dorm room. "You are the milk to my shake, forever and ever. Love, Jay." He was the first boy I ever kissed. He was my best friend. More and more I understood this was the way it was supposed to be. He was the one. My one. "You look hot," he said. Even now, after being boyfriend and girlfriend for a whole 2 years, I still blushed a little when he said things like that. Jer brought me back a shell bracelet. Little white puka shells. It had made me so happy, because I knew that he had been thinking of me, that he missed me as much as I had missed him. He knew, like I knew, that it wasn't over between us, that it would never be over. "I can't wait to marry you," he murmured into my neck. I giggled. I was super ticklish on my neck, and he knew it. He knew almost everything about me, and he still loved me. I said, "You can't ever hurt me like that again." It was half warning, half plea. "I won't," he said, and I knew he meant it. He looked at me so determinedly, so earnestly. I knew his face well, maybe better than anybody now. Every line, every curve. Maybe I knew his face even better than my own. The hours I'd spent staring at it while he slept, tracing my finger along his cheekbone. Maybe he'd done the same things to me. I didn't want to see a mark on his face one day and not know how it got there. I wanted to be with him. His was the face I loved. He asked, "Isabel Conklin, will you marry me?" In as serious a voice as I'd ever heard him use. "Yes, I'll marry you," I said. The joy I felt in that moment, I couldn't even put it into words. Then I held out my hand for him. His hand shook as he placed the ring on my finger. He put his arms around me, and we held on to each other, clinging like we were the other's safe harbor. All I could think was, if we just get through this storm, we will make it. He'd made mistakes. I had too, But we loved each other, and that was what mattered. That day, without another word about it, we decided to leave the past in the past. The future was where we were headed. Outside my window, far down the beach, I could see a group of little kids with plastic pails and shovels digging for sand crabs. Jer and I used to do that. There was this one time, I think I was 8, which meant Jeremiah must have been 9. We'd search for sand crabs all afternoon, and even when Conrad and Stephen came looking for him, he didn't leave. They said, "We're going to ride our bikes into town and rent a video game, and if you don't come with us, you can't play tonight." "You can go if you want," I'd said, feeling wretched because I knew he'd choose to go. Who would choose sandy old sand crabs over a new video game? He hesitated and then said, "I don't care." And then he stayed. I felt guilty but also triumphant because Jeremiah had chosen me. I was worthy of being chosen over someone else. We played outside until it got dark. We collected our sand crabs in a plastic cup, and then we set them free. We watched them wriggle back into the sand. They all seemed to know exactly where they were going, some clear destination in mind. Home. That night, Conrad and Stephen played their new game. Jeremiah watched them. He didn't ask if he could play, and I could see how much he wanted to. In my memory, he would always be golden.
Look, I made a team jellyfin stuff.
You and Jer have known each other for like a grillion years. It's meant to be. How long is a grillion years? It's forever. In the air, she spelled out my initials. BC plus JF, forever. Forever, I echoed happily. Forever I could do. Me and Jer. I choose you, Jeremiah. All my life, I never felt like I had a choice when it came to Conrad. Now, I knew it wasn't true. I did have a choice. I chose to walk away, then and now. I chose Jeremiah. I chose the boy who would never walk away from me. I loved him in a way that you can only really do the first time around. Completely. With every bit of your being. Without even leaving anything for yourself.